Hello everyone, this is a video about fashion, NGS fashion, and the way that I approach it. So let's get started. I'm going to start by teaching you how to make a reset profile. If I want to create a new look, I have biases everywhere, like the bunny ears, the bunny costume. There's a lot that I have to get rid of in order for me to be able to create a new look from scratch. Because I'm used to all of this, virtually everything I have on the character is its own bias because I ran with it for months. So I need to make a reset profile. So I'll start by going to edit fashion and resetting the ornament settings. Also making the innerwear appear. Then to accessories and remove them all. Body paint and strip it. Then to layering wear, eliminate the outerwear. Finally, even the hairstyle is a bias, so I want a neutral hairstyle, so one of the hairstyles of the game. Base hairstyles. So I look at this and I think I'm fine, so I'm going to go to save creation data. Now, normally I would also reset the makeup, but since this is a lavender theme that I have, I'm just going to type Kalen, reset, and in parentheses, I'm going to write lavender. So now, anytime I want to create a new fresh costume in this theme, I can just start from scratch using the creation data. This is important too because I have multiple body types for this theme, and so this is a reset on the body type as well. So it's important that if I'm going to work on more body types, meaning like a more adult version or younger version, to work it by going to the bottom right and choosing to hide everything and showing a naked model of the character. It shows my height is 177, 185 with a costume on. So what you want is to be in a naked mode. That's why I call it, if you're going to use easy edit. Do not try to take a costume and shape your character's body around the costume unless you do not have a theme and all you're working on is a cosplay. If it's a one-shot deal, then you can work with the sliders from this, the costume on. But if you're planning on making a theme, the body is important to have squared away before putting any costume on. Now, one of the things that I do is I have a lot of costumes, I have a lot of themes. I play on PC with a mouse and keyboard. What I like doing is having a folder that I can put on a flash drive or a cloud server or something where it has copies of my creation data. So what I do is take my looks and I transfer them to creation data And when I change from theme to theme, it's like a wardrobe. It's like taking costumes from storage and putting them in your wardrobe for a season, for a theme. So I have premium, so I can have 30 of them. Now, if you work with a theme, one of the more interesting things that I do is that I actually have the same innerwear, but with the colors inverted. You won't see much of a difference now, but you will later. Which brings me to just costume basics. This game has 3 types of costumes, and they all have a naming scheme. If I go to a costume like, let me find something interesting here. Okay, so I can carry multiple examples from this. If I put stray animal, a regular costume without any designation to it, so stray animal or stray animal 2, you find that the innerwear does not affect it. The second that I put any costume that has a B at the end of it, so it's the name followed by a forward slash followed by the letter B, that is a costume that takes properties of the innerwear and applies them to the costume itself. You'll end up with multiple colors, more colors than the regular costume. And just to show you how the innerwear applies, if I invert the colors, the B types get inverted, and this is one of the reasons why for a theme I have the 2 innerwear colors that I chose inverted among 2 innerwears to the same innerwears, because this affects the body paint that you use. So the way I like to approach it is I pick a costume and then I go with a hairstyle. So if I go back to the costumes, I introduced the regular costumes, I introduced the B series costumes. That's what I call them. I call them B series costumes. I tend to pick a costume, but I have to make a choice if I'm going to have a costume that has footwear or no footwear. So in these pictures, if you see a costume that is from head to toe, that is a costume that is a V series, and literally it's without the footwear. And the height reflects it with 177. 177. So this is an example of a non-B series, because it says V2, and notice that this one reads Urban Knight V4/B. And the innerwear is actually the color of the button. So I tend to start with the costume that I'm going to wear, and I think, okay, what am I going to do with this? In my case, I usually go to ornament display settings, and I wonder if the costume is good with or without the base wear set wear ornaments. So in this case, it can work with hiding them. It can also work without hiding them. And of course, I can change the hair or whatnot. Now, this is a costume that I worked with in the past, and so I can just load the look and show. So this was a costume that I wanted to use a helmet type on the character, and I wanted to keep it as symmetric as possible. I put a katana on the side as a prop or an ornament, even though I don't play Braver. It just seemed to fit well with the costume. I took the Lux accessory and look at it, all I did with the advanced settings. You could play around with accessories, so do take your time before saving them. I wanted to actually connect them and make them look like they are part of the shoe or footwear. I wanted to combine that with the motion test. And that works. My difficulty with this costume was in actually trying to figure out which of the innerwears I wanted, and I ended up going for the inverted one. I ended up liking this one a lot better. I think for me, I like lighter on the arms than darker. At least in this instance. Now what is interesting also is I set it up so that when I move, it is actually symmetric. So if I save, like the idea was more symmetry and something simple. If I move around, from the back, maintain symmetry. From the front, there's symmetry. The exception is on the side of the skirt, but that's fine. I don't want it to be perfect. Now, the way that I do costumes is that I simply work with the costume first, and then I put in the accessories. So I do the hairstyle, costume, hairstyle, and body paint. I walk around with it for a little bit, and then I start thinking about what kind of accessories I want on the character. The rule of thumb in fashion is pretty much to work one step at a time. Don't do everything at once, because I spent my time working with the accessories, and then afterwards I worked with the motions, and then for last, that's when you work with the weapon camos. Weapon camos are usually last. And so there you have it. That's basically how I work with fashion in this game. Okay, I'm seeing pockets on her back, or butt, or whatever. But she has more than enough lightning to fry anyone who looks aimlessly. Like This character turned out to be closer to like Overwatch or whatnot. This look. But they aren't so bad. Anyway, till next video.